Here we go again. Post WrestleMania 42 cut coming for you. It's that time of year again, and it kind of happened a little bit later than usually it does when it comes to WrestleMania, post WrestleMania cuts. And this year, some of them it's surprising, but generally it doesn't come across surprising if you know what to look for, if you know what to expect, and so on. Now, I'm not going to hit up on every single individual released in detail. Some of them more than others, and some of them mainly over others. But WWE stands at it again. Will defend Triple H and say, oh, he didn't have anything to do with this. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. It was TKO. It was Ari Emanuel. It was this person. It was that person. Back to that whole thing I mentioned in one of my previous videos, the scapegoat dilemma. If everything's going good, it's Triple H. He did it. He's the one who's got the power. But since it's something bad, it's not Triple H, bro. It's not. You can't say that about Triple H. He cuts my hair. He's my dad. He's my mama. He's my brother. Don't make fun of him. He's handicapped. You can't say that about Triple H. It's like, there's something untouchable about him in some regard where I don't know. It's just ridiculous, to be honest with you, and I'm simply speechless when it comes to certain fans, how they protect Triple H. It's not even as if you're protecting like a legend. You're protecting the guy that worked with the legend. And of course, yeah, Triple H is a legend. I'm not going to say he isn't, but he's never been that guy. He's always been that guy that worked with that guy. You know what I mean? For one, Motor City Machine Guns have been released, and it's sad and it's pathetic. These guys still had a lot left in their tank where they ended their career, yeah, but they still got another 5 years, and they could have put over solid tag teams, actual tag teams, and they haven't. Yeah, sure, they had maybe matches with this team or that team, but nothing substantial. But there was a nostalgia act. Basically, bring them in, give a rub to the actual WWE tag team titles more so than anything else, so they can say, oh yeah, Motor City Machine Guns were WWE tag team champions, in regards to, later down the line they can let's say put them in the Hall of Fame, and they have that reason to, they were in the WWE for a cup of coffee, buddy. Come on, you know how the WWE works, man. We did it. They were WWE tag team champions for like a month. And, WWE, it's never been a hotbed of wrestling tag teams. And, they've had their moments in certain periods more than others. But generally, for the last 20 years or so, if not a little bit longer, actually more so the 20 years, they've always put together random tag teams. And sometimes it makes sense. It adds story, development. Let's say putting two main eventers together that have been feuding, giving them a different layer to their story or their feud against each other. For example, like, I don't know, don't quote me on it, but for example, putting together John Cena and Batista and making them tag team champions together. And, they've had feuds together, they have this and that. So it adds a different layer, and it makes sense in that scenario. But a lot of the times it's like, what the hell does Damian Priest and R-Truth have to do with each other? It's basically saying, like, okay, R-Truth, you've been with the company for 20 plus years. Here's a complimentary title. Damian Priest, you were world champion. We're not doing anything with you, buddy. Okay, we're gonna give you a tag team title championship. You'll be all right. Okay, don't complain, buddy. Okay. But yeah, Motor City Machine Guns, they were a tag team you could build a tag team division around, and basically do a lot with them still. They were pretty good. They did have a lot left in their tank. It wasn't like they were going out there making a mockery out of them. To me, I personally am over seeing Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy everywhere, and I'm a bigger fan of the Hardy Boys than Motor City Machine Guns as a tag team. And I'm sick of seeing anywhere I see the Hardy Boys, I'm over it. But Motor City Machine Guns, it's like you don't have that feeling with them. So, fans would have still enjoyed seeing them, and older fans that enjoy them and know them, and even the newer fans who kind of just started to understand who they are within WWE, and WWE fans specifically. Apollo Crews as well, that goes back to hot and cold pushes, He's hot, he's cold, he's hot, he's cold. We'll give him this, we'll give him that, we'll take it away. You never know what they're doing with him, and they always drop the ball. Now, he wasn't the largest of largest wrestlers in regard to, like, height wise. He was very muscular. He had some sort of charisma. It wasn't specific, like, oh, The Rock charisma, or something along those lines. But he had charisma. They could have done more with him than they did, but they dropped the ball with him. And you can tell when WWE does that, when they push you, then they stop, push you, stop, push you, stop, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Eventually this happens. But, that's another case of what could have been and what should have been. Now, Aleister Black, as you know him in WWE, and Malachi Black, a little bit not long ago in AEW, again, came back to WWE. I want to be with my wife, my girlfriend. The grass is greener on the other side, buddy. The grass is greener on the other side. I want to be with my wife. I want to be with my girlfriend. Yeah. It's like, buddy, come on, man. Diversify your portfolio. Both of you should have talked amongst each other as adults and been like, hey, I'll stay in AEW. He was getting a big push. He was getting consistently featured. And, in AEW, Selena Vega in her own right in WWE. So let's say if one of them got canned from one place, well, hey, can you bring my wife or girlfriend here? Hey, can you bring my husband here? But now it's like, you shit the bed in AEW. And Tony Khan's probably going around thinking now, hey, why would I bring this person over when their true purpose or goal is to go to WWE? You know what I mean? And, why would he do that? Why would you, give, how do you call it, exposure and basically, advertise a wrestler who's eventually going to go to the WWE for free. Basically, everything you're giving to that title doesn't add to AEW. But, hey, we're going to give this guy exposure, title reigns, all these wins, and he's going to go to WWE. Basically, you're just, you're booking for that other promotion. Same thing's kind of off subject. It's like when Tony Stark, Ricky Saints, as he's known in WWE right now, was in AEW. And it's like, oh, I have a year plus on my contract left. I'm going to tell everybody I want to go to WWE. I'm going to go to WWE because, I'm a genius named Ricky Saints. And long story short, exactly what I said. Why would you freaking book that, man? You're basically, hey, I'm not going to book a talent that's really wants to stay in AEW and build here. I'm going to book for this guy, and he's going to leave my promotion. It's like, hot diggity Dan, I'm gonna lose out on something. It's like, I'm not all there. And then you have the WWE stands who never gave a hoot about Ricky Starks going, oh, WWE knows how to book him. He was wasted in AEW. He was not used correctly. Tony Khan is a bad booker. Basically, it's no different than being like, yeah, I'm going to invest all this money and, build a whole barn here, grab all these animals, raise them, and then basically just hand it over to my next door neighbor, and I'm gonna be a genius, and then the WWE stand's gonna like me. But yeah, that was the most surprising one. Because he was featured heavily, and his last main interactions were with Randy Orton. People are like, "Oh, we're gonna get a Malachi Black, Aleister Black feud with Randy Orton. It's the mind games, brother. It's the mind games." And he's gone. Even his wife, Selena Vega. And it's like he was put in that position that Karrion Kross was in. So it's kind of funny where basically the couple's role he and Selena Vega and Aleister Black were in that were previously released, now they follow suit. It's as if that whole kind of storyline or character is cursed. Then you have the Wyatt Six. Every single one of them was released from my recollection or my knowing. And that's crazy, man. And you could tell why they were brought together, why they were brought, back or whatnot, the individuals. It's because they wanted to make a buck off of it. They couldn't make money off of Bray Wyatt's merchandise as they did before, but they could put it on Uncle Howdy's back in some sort of way, as they did, and basically make money like that. And, this is basically corporate greed, wrapped in a bow of, we're family, rest in peace, Wade Bryant. And I'm not saying no to, like, of course, rest in peace to Wade Bryant, of course. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm talking from the perspective of the WWE. We're just trying to spin that whole narrative as if they care, as if, this is for his legacy, for his fight. No, it was just about his merchandise. When Wade Bryant, oh my goodness, God dang it, Cletus, get your mouth sewn together or shut the hell up. Wade Bryant. Okay, I'm not even going to repeat that. I don't know why that sounds wrong to me for some reason right now. But long story short, it was just to make money off of his likeness, his name, or anything similar to that, as it was the Wyatt Six. And it's like for the last 6 months to a year on SmackDown, man, how many times have you seen them versus the My Family Tree, Sola Sikoyo, and the other guys? It's like, come on, man. So it's like, I get it, and it's like, what are you gonna do with them? And they're from the get-go, they had that whole debut, and they basically shat the tree with them, and they did nothing with them afterwards, because it's like, you over attributed your wrestlers, where it's like, okay, they came in looking like emmers, like murderers, and now you're gonna have to basically dumb them down to human level, like humans. And ever since that, it's like, okay, here they are, another match. Wyatt Six versus MFT. It sucks for them, and I wish them the best on their endeavors, but, everything will work out for these individuals. And, of course, there's more of them, like Kairi Sane and so on, but specifically talking about these ones, Kairi Sane, too, featured here and there, and you'd think, okay, they're doing stuff with her prevalently. But you should have known, if they didn't put her on WrestleMania 42 card, something's off, right? Even Asuka, it's like, these women wrestlers, and a lot of them are very talented. On average, I believe the WWE women's roster is more talented per capita compared to the men's roster. Men's roster, either you have talent or you're mediocre. Or the women's roster is very persistent. That's why they can kind of take one out, put one in, take one out, put one in all the time, and it's interchangeable. And you see a lot of these women being brought up and shot to the moon quicker than the men's roster. I feel like the average woman who's in WWE has more charisma, talent in that regard than the men do, and it's crazy, and it's a good thing. It's an astonishing period to be a women's wrestler, where basically they're more entertaining than the men's roster has been in the whole history of WWE. And I'm not saying they've never been entertaining. I'm just saying in this specific time, they are more on average per capita. But yeah, I believe Asuka's going to be gone sooner than later, and so on. And, that's the thing, whoever was brought up this year, will be let go mid-year or next year. Don't hold your breath. A championship in WWE, a championship win in WWE doesn't mean nothing. And it hasn't for a long time. So don't dictate, they care about this wrestler, or a marquee feud, or marquee, like, basically being a focal point of a show like Wyatt Six were on SmackDown for half a year doesn't mean you're safe. I wish them the best, but it's sad. Aleister Black had a lot going for him on AEW, and we'll see if he'll go back, but I doubt it. It's the same reason I believe Tony Khan doesn't take Karrion Kross or signs him up, and it's been months. It's because he knows, okay, this dude does not want to be anywhere else but WWE, even though WWE has literally disrespected, shat on him multiple times, released him, brought him back, released him, brought him back. Karrion Kross is basically, he's in a state of Stockholm syndrome, where he loves his abuser. So why would Tony Khan be like, okay, I'll sign you, and then he'll try to get out of his contract, and then the stands will be like, oh, Tony Khan is a horrible, horrible owner, a horrible booker, and then he'll just go back to WWE, where, like I said, he's been booking to build a star for the, rival promotion. Check it out, y'all. Check it out. WrestleMania 42 releases 2026.